Hello, insiders. Thank you all for being here today. Many of you are current clients, former clients. Some of you are going through the process. Some of you might not even be clients yet. You might have been watching us for a very, very long time. And the two of us here today are here to share some information with you, no matter where you're at in the process. My name is Travis Brobst.
My name is Jesse Martin.
And we are so glad you're here. So just tell me where you currently reside, and then tell me the branch and years of service in which you served. For example, maybe you currently reside in Georgia and you served in the Marine Corps from 1978 to 1982. So go ahead and give us a shout out and let us know. Lakin's from Mississippi. Nice. Got Louisville, Kentucky.
Delaware. Got an Army vet 04 to 2012. Welcome, Eddie.
Yeah. Ricardo's from Texas, Marine Corps 2008 to 2012. Arizona, Army 88 to 02. Indiana Air Force Guard. Navy, 10 years. New York City, Navy, 91 to 97. Oh, it must be cool living in New York City. I bet you like that. Miami, Florida. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Oh, we got a retired Army. Jesse here is retired Army as well. Jesse, didn't you just retire the other day or like last week?
Effective 1 March. 1 March. 21 years, 4 months, and 13 days.
It's a huge accomplishment.
It is. It is.
Got the Montana Air Guard.
Montana Air Guard. Matt, are you still out here in Montana?
California Navy 04 to 12.
Denver Navy.
Pennsylvania Army National Guard 1987 1992. I love seeing all these guards members here and reserve members. You guys played an active contribution as well. I was in the Missouri Army National Guard. All right, I currently live in Florida, but I was in the Missouri Army National Guard. And I know that if you're a guard member or a reserve member, you often think, oh, can we even do this? Is this for me? Well, let me tell you, you absolutely can. This is for you as well.
Hey, Travis, it looks like I got several veterans out here in Montana with me in the group.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Look at that. It's a small world, huh?
It is. It is.
Not active duty Army. Georgia Army 07 to 2012. Oh, there's a Marine. Caleb. Yes. Jacksonville, Florida 87 to 11. Retired. Navy. Ontario, Canada. Okay. Way up there. California Navy.
Kalispell, Larry, that's a beautiful place. I love going up there and going to Glacier. I love it up there.
Bradley Trimble says Virginia, United States Army, sound off my fellow airborne. Nevada Air Force. All right. Well, so glad that you guys are here today. Thanks for shouting out where you currently reside and your time in service. We are so glad that you are here. So what we're going to talk about today is chronic pain and somatic symptom disorder and how to claim that, how to file that, right? So this is what I want you to think about, right? Most of you, not all of you, but most of you probably have some service-connected disabilities. If you care to share, you may do so. You can say, hey, I'm service-connected for tinnitus, or I'm service-connected for my back or my knee, whatever the case is. You don't have to. But let's use an example of a veteran that has a bad back. Jesse, do you have a bad back?
I do have a bad back, but let's talk about a shoulder injury that prevents me from doing all the bow hunting I love to do. That's
perfect. Tell me more, Jesse. What are you dealing with there?
Well, I had a slap lesion tear in my right shoulder, and the strength is just not there anymore, and I cannot draw my bow back. And I've been a bow hunter since I was 14 years old, and it hurts that I can't do it anymore because of this physical ailment that I obtained while I was in the Army.
Wow, man. Wow. So, Jesse, that's something that you enjoy doing. It's something you're very passionate about. But your service-connected disability prevents you from being able to do that, and you're really passionate about that. So, how does that make you feel?
It puts me down in the dumps, and just kind of keeps me depressed all the time, not being able to do the things I enjoy doing and sharing that hobby and recreational event with my sons.
This breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. It's you, and it's so many people in that situation. So, perfect example. You got a veteran that has a service-connected shoulder injury. He's not able to do things that he used to be able to enjoy. I know a lot of you have back issues, just from the comments that I'm reading here. A lot of you have back issues. Let's talk about that. If you have back issues, yeah, you might be service-connected for it. They're paying you for the back issue. But ultimately, what you're dealing with goes past the back. It goes past the back injury itself. It goes past his shoulder injury itself, because what he just told you is what we call lifestyle impact. It'll sometimes be referred to as somatic symptom disorder. It'll be referred to as chronic pain. It'll be referred to as lifestyle impact. But ultimately, bottom line up front, bluff, military folks, the bluff is, it is a mental health claim, okay, secondary to an already service-connected condition or conditions. So it's not a direct service connection like PTSD would be. It's not a direct service connection that you would have gotten after you got out of the military. What this means is you could have been out of the military for years and years and years, and you can go this route. I've been here for 15 or 16 months. I'm losing count. And I have helped people from the 1960s get service connected for this. The 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, the present day, all the way through. People that got out in the 1960s and 70s are able to get service connected under this route. Okay? So if you're sitting on the fence and you're thinking, oh my gosh, well, I can't do that now because they're going to think, well, why didn't you try this earlier? You need to get that out of your head, because that is a big misconception, isn't it, Jesse?
It is. Just some recent success with some of the veterans I'm working with from the 80s have this connected to them. So as Travis is saying, doesn't matter how long you've been out. If it's there, it's there, and it's something we can help with.
But Jesse, I got out in 1970. Isn't the VA going to say, why are you trying to do this now? Why didn't you do it back then?
They potentially could say that, but it's something that you've learned about more recently and something new that you weren't aware of. So it's time to get that claim in there and going, because of the research and education and time you put into the research. You have the right to file that claim. Absolutely.
But also the VA has a duty to care. So they really can't even, whether, there's so many different types of VA disabilities out there, the time frame, there's no merit on that whatsoever. So you should not be worried about the time frame, okay? So let's talk more about chronic pain and what that is and what that looks like. So going back to you vets that have the bad backs, maybe you got a messed up neck, or you got a bad shoulder, or really bad knees. You're always in pain. Sometimes that pain can become unbearable. Sometimes it's really easy for you to re-injure yourself and they have like really, really bad shooting or throbbing pain in like whatever part of your body. But the common theme here, where you can all relate, and it doesn't matter what kind it is the fact that it takes away from your life. Those of you that have bad backs, knees, I don't care what your service-connected disability is, diabetes, Tell us if you're comfortable. Share with your fellow vets. Share with us how it takes away from your life, how it makes your life more difficult. Does it hurt you in social situations? Does it hurt you in the workplace? Does it hurt you with your family? Are you able to play with your children and or your grandchildren the way that you want to be able to play with them? Are you able to go on outings outside with the family and go on long walks? Are you able to travel, or do you have to pull over every 15 minutes because your back hurts so bad? Are you able to drive, or do you struggle because of how you hold your hand up in the steering wheel with your shoulder injury? Those things that you're dealing with on a daily basis, those things are not easy. To you, especially you've been out of the military for a long time, like most of you, those issues that you deal with become your normal. You're so used to it that that is your life. And once something becomes normal to you, you don't realize that something's wrong because you suck it up, you tough it out, and you keep moving because there's nothing you can do about it, right? You suck it up, tough it out, and keep going. But what you're dealing with is not normal. And you are dealing with a lifestyle impact. You are dealing with chronic pain. Ron over here, Ron McCarden, and I wish I could call all of, I wish I could comment on everybody that commented. Believe me, I wish I could, all right? But let's focus on Ron. He says, I have pain all the time. It travels and has no rhyme or reason for when it will knock me down. Ron, I can only imagine how that might make you possibly feel anxious, not knowing when it's going to happen. You probably can't plan a family outing or an outing with friends or a trip because in the back of your mind, you're thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to go into a major pain episode? All right. A lot of you self-seclude yourself. You isolate yourself in your homes, in your apartments, in your cabins if you're Jesse. All right. You self-seclude yourself. You don't like to get out there in the world. You want to prevent situations as much as possible. So the best way to prevent situations, the best way to not get in a situation is stay in. And it might even affect you socially. So if you're staying in all the time and you don't like the idea of going out because you're worried about your pain and you don't want to deal with the pain, you start shutting off from everybody, and eventually everybody starts shutting off with you. And the pain that you're dealing with could make you very, very irritable. Do I have any irritable veterans out here that are willing to admit it because of your pain? Does your pain make you irritable every day, Jesse? Every day? So that means that the fuse that you all have, it's not going to be as long as somebody else. Your fuse might be a lot shorter, okay? Doesn't mean that you're a jerk. Doesn't mean that you're a bad human being. It just means that you don't have a very long fuse because your fuse has dwindled down because of all of the pain and the lack of sleep and the lifestyle impact that you're dealing with. So typically, if we have a shorter fuse and we're a little bit snippy, snappy, or not very polite, it's typically going to turn people off from us. It's going to make people not want to interact with us or talk to us. Now, within the veteran community, we all understand very, very well. That's why I've been very successful here at VA Claims Insider. All right. I have snapped at my fellow coworkers before. It has happened, but luckily in this culture, we understand, right? We understand, we get it. Okay. So with that being said, like right here, Bradley says, every day I deal with that very short fuse most of the time because of the pain. It's not because Bradley's a bad person, because he's not. He's a great guy. He's a really great person. It's just the fact that he's dealing with this pain. Okay.
You know, something else, Travis,
Yeah.
something we all have in common. Everyone on the live right now, all the veterans that are in the chat and you and I, for many years, we all just drank the water and drove on with the mission and pushed everything to the side and took vitamin M most of the time because that's what they prescribed. Well, it's time for us to come together and start taking care of each other and providing resources to help each other out. while Travis and I are both working for VACI, we're veterans as well, and we have the same issues many of the veterans in the chat have, and we're there for you, and we hope you're there for us as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, Jesse. Thank you for sharing that. He's totally right. Danny says he had to quit from pain and PTSD. It affects him and his family. Several of you have the same problem where you're snippy and you're snappy. Well, this could affect you in the workplace. It could really affect you in the workplace, especially if you're not as fortunate. Jesse and I are very fortunate. We work for a company that is built based off veterans, right? So, but in a traditional work setting, I would really, really struggle. I did really struggle. Okay. I know a lot of you really, really struggle because if you're short fused and you don't have the most patience and you're dealing with, even if they're an annoying coworker, if you're short fused, that's going to put you in a tough situation with your boss because you're not getting along with people. They're not getting along with you. And it makes you look like the bad guy. And I bet some of you here today, have probably got into it with your bosses or supervisors. Do I have any vets here that are willing to admit that? Come on, you can be open and vulnerable here. There's no judgment, all right? It doesn't have to be a current boss or supervisor. Maybe it's happened in the past. Maybe you've been put on a professional development plan. Maybe your boss transitioned you to a different department. Maybe some of you left that job because you couldn't take it anymore. They didn't ask you to leave, but you left because you're like, I'm not dealing with this. I knew it had to be a lot more than just me that has dealt with that. Absolutely. Some of you are on your last chance. Kevin says, I've been fired more than not. So whether you've been fired or you've left a bad situation, that's what we call occupational impairment. That is occupational impairment.
Cheeto said he's been self-employed the last 18 years because of this.
Who has?
Cheeto.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Doug says, Doug's a friend of mine. He's a good guy. He punched a coworker in the face. All right. And I imagine that coworker probably deserved it, but still, it was obviously wrong and he shouldn't have done it. Right. He should not have done it. And it comes with his short fuse. Larry says, I'm constantly being told by my coworkers and family to quit shouting. Larry, is it because of a hearing issue maybe, or like really bad tinnitus, like where you have to talk over it? Or is it just is it because of your anger that comes with your service-connected disabilities? Oh my gosh, Horace Thompson says, I told off my training manager. Yes, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm his training manager, and he did tell me off a couple of times. I said, Horace, turn on that camera. Why is your camera not on? And he laid into me. We're veterans, though, so we get it. Gary, no, pain and PTSD. Left job because I couldn't sit for 8 hours due to knee and back pain. So Steve, did they not accommodate you at all? Did they not let you get up and walk around? I kind of feel like they should have tried to accommodate you, but I understand. I understand not wanting to deal with it. So many of you are self-employed, or you see creative work that works for you. And so you might have a business or you might have a side hustle that allows you to work on your terms, because you know that you would not do well in an organization because you know how you are. And the reason that you are the way you are is because of your service-connected disabilities that cause you that pain, that cause you that grief. And for some, I'm not a doctor. I'm getting ready to be a doctor of education, but I'm not a doctor of psychology, all right? But it is possible that many of you could be experiencing, I'm not diagnosing you, I'm saying you could be experiencing anxiety. You could be experiencing depression or even severe depression because of how your life is impacted, because of how these service-connected disabilities take away from you.
Our quality of life as veterans should be as closely rewarding as it was prior to joining the military. We should still try to be able to maintain that quality of life if possible. And, these physical ailments, somatic symptom disorder, chronic pain should always be addressed and taken to the next level if need be.
Absolutely. Horace, love you too. Doug is right. Somatic symptom disorder is a mental health claim. Lifestyle impact is a mental health claim. What we are talking to you today is a mental health claim. That's exactly what it is. We're not talking PTSD, and it's not PTSD. It's different than that. All right. PTSD is caused by a stressor or a significant event in one's life, right? This is more or less you are service connected for XYZ condition, and XYZ condition is causing you to not live a life that is fulfilling. It's taking away from your life. It's putting you down in the dumps. You might feel depressed about it. You might feel anxious about it. Okay. Let's talk about and let's tie in how if one deals with chronic pain, how that can affect your sleep and why sleep is so important. And I promise you, I'm not getting ready to talk about sleep apnea. Okay. Guys, do not start asking me questions about sleep apnea right now. That's not what I'm talking about. All right. So if you have a bad back, I want you veterans to talk to me here. I love open dialogue. That's how I like to teach. I don't like to just talk at you. I like for you to communicate with me. So if you veterans have bad backs, bad knees, bad necks, I don't care what it is, diabetes, tinnitus, that constant ringing and buzzing in your ear, it might keep you up late at night. It might prevent you from falling asleep. It might make it difficult for you to stay asleep. No matter what your service-connected disability is, I want you to write us and tell us, how does that affect your sleep? What does your sleep look like at night? And then we're going to jump in and kind of expand on that. So I'll give you guys a moment. The comments that come to us are slightly delayed. So I'll let you guys comment on that. And then we're gonna dive right in. Jess, you got anything to add while we're waiting for some of these comments to pop up?
No, I don't. I'm just looking at some of the comments before they pop up on our screen. Lots of
Sure.
good comments out there today. I love the interaction with everyone.
Laureen says, what is sleep? As I only get about 3 to 4 hours because of the Laureen. Okay. I can relate about the sleep part. Mine is more the ringing in my ear prevents me from sleeping. So I'm sorry that you're dealing with all that pain. So after being here for as long as I've been here, what I've noticed with a lot of my clients is when they say that they're only getting 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep, sometimes less, they're trying to do the right things. They go to bed at a reasonable hour. They'll go to bed at like 10 or 11, and they'll get up at like 5, 6, or 7. They're trying to do all the right things. The problem is when they go to bed, their mind is not shut down, number one. 2, the pain doesn't go away. Some of you, depending on your injuries, the pain is even worse at night when you're trying to sleep, depending on how you lay on it. You're tossing, you're turning, you're moving around all throughout the night to get comfortable because of the pain. And then when you do get comfortable and you pass out, maybe you do fall asleep, and then an hour and a half you have to wake up again, and then it starts all over, and then you spend 2 hours trying to fall asleep. Some of you, your mind's racing and your mind's so busy and you're so stressed out that sleep, it's pretty much not happening. By the time you actually get into a really good sleep, you're waking up and you're facing the day again. Any of us can go a few days and not sleep. We were all in the military, right? Most of us were in the military. That's life. A lot of us went to college. That's a big part of Jesse. By the way, Coach Jesse just got his master's degree. Those of you that have went to college know that you don't always get to sleep either. But point being is that anybody can handle it sometimes. But a lot of you, you're dealing with not being able to sleep regularly on a permanent basis. So you're dealing with a sleep deficit month to month to month, year to year, even decades. And you can only imagine what that's doing to you, what that's doing to your mood, and how that makes you feel throughout the day. It's going to make you cranky. It's going to make you not a fun and pleasant person to be around. All right? It's going to make you try very, very hard to do simple things. It's going to make, it might even make you be forgetful at times. I often tell the story about how there have been several occasions, which I'm working on it, I would go to the store and my mind is so busy and my mind is always racing. I go to the store and I would grab some groceries. I would take them inside, and then I would just get distracted and totally forget that there were more groceries in the car. I'd go back to the car later and realize, oh my gosh, I just wasted like $50 in groceries because I just like left it out in the heat and I forgot all about it, right? Making silly, simple mistakes like that.
How does the lack of sleep decrease your productivity at work as well? You know?
Oh man, if you're not energized, you can't really be all the way into something. Something is going to give. Something is definitely going to give. Like I said, thank God I get to work with you all, you veterans, every single day, because even though I can't sleep very well, just talking to you, hearing your stories, it gives me this unknown energy abundance that helps me get throughout my day. Okay. It really, really does. But any other line of work, I've struggled horribly.
You know, I'm excited for coffee with coaches every morning. Every morning, it pumps me up and gets me ready for my day. It doesn't matter if I slept for 4 hours or 10 hours. Gets me ready.
Jesse, is that Jesse Marin? Almost your name. I have 1 inch off between hips. Oh, okay. I have 1 inch off between hips and making my left leg to wear out, getting a hip replaced on a secondary claim. Right knee was replaced in January. I have a back, restless leg syndrome, blah, blah, blah. Okay. No friends, family don't like talking to me because of tinnitus. Never know all this was tied together. Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, Jesse. So just in summary, without having to read the whole thing, you are experiencing a huge lifestyle impact, sir. Yeah. You need to reach out to us. You need to reach out to a coach and let us help you, okay? And I'm going to take a moment to talk about that. I know that many of you are current clients. Some are formers. I get texts all the time when I do these Facebook Lives from former clients saying, hey, I see you. But some of you have been watching us for a little bit. Some of you are on the sidelines and you're watching us. You're getting comfortable. You're veterans, so you're cautious. You don't just jump into things. If you're one of those people and you've been kind of observing us from a distance, feel free to comment that. But I want you to know one thing. If you were to interview all of the veterans that we ever worked with, and if you were to interview our entire company, then one thing they would tell you is that where you make the biggest mistake is trying to do this on your own. Okay? Why go into something on your own when you have a team and you have an organization and you have people that are experts in this process, people that will teach you, educate you, guide you, lead you, make sure that you have all the right information so that you can make all the right decisions for yourself. If something were to happen to you in your life and you needed a lawyer, would you go to court and represent yourself? Or would you hire a lawyer? You'd probably hire a lawyer. If something were really bad with you medically, would you just try to WebMD it? Or would you go to the doctor? Would you go to the ER so that they could help you? All right. Are you going to try to, okay, this is a bad analogy because a lot of you have the short haircuts anyways. Are you going to cut your own hair or are you going to go to the hairstylist, right? You get where I'm coming from. You get it. Let the experts help you. We are the experts. And collectively, we have over 70 years of experience with VA claims. We know what works, we know what doesn't work, and we know what works the best. So if you're on the fence and you're watching and you want help and you need help, all you have to do is make a comment there in the comments and somebody will reach out to you as soon as possible. I promise you that. Somebody will reach out to you as soon as possible to get you plugged in so that you can talk to somebody and get help. Also, another thing I want to cover is the fact that many of you feel like you have to wait for your medical records to come in from the military. Maybe you put in a records request and you've been waiting months and you'll likely be waiting many, many more months. Maybe you don't even know where your stuff is at. Maybe you moved around so much that you lost all of your documentation in a box or it just disappeared. If that's you, we can help you. The point I'm trying to make, the point that we're trying to make is we can take you exactly where you are at this moment right now, and we can start helping you. You do not have to wait. Right, Jesse?
You're right. You're very right. The request for records process is even slower right now because of the current pandemic we have going on. But, veterans are getting through the process without their military treatment records. We're here. We can help you.
And we will. We absolutely will. And another thing, too, is that we have a very, very strong sense of community. This is one of those things. It's like high school and college, right? So like in college, I was very involved. I was an SGA and in a fraternity. I did all those things. I was always looking for ways to be very involved. I try to do the same thing here at this organization. I want to be involved as possible. That's why I like to do these lives. But with our program, if you're a busy person and you don't want to be like super, super involved, you can use what you need. You can have access to a coach. You can, watch our videos. You can come to the classes that you want to, right? You don't have to come to all of them. Or if you're somebody who just really wants to be really, really involved, we offer over 2 classes a day, Monday through Friday, and 1 class on Saturday. In addition to that, we have coffee with the coaches every morning, Monday through Friday. We have all kinds of things for you to get involved and be part of a sense of community with veterans. But what I will tell you is what you're going to get out of this experience is what you put into it. I'm not saying that you would need to be that client that attended every meeting. That's not possible. But you have to take ownership in your journey. We're going to help you. We're going to guide you. We're going to teach you. We're going to lead you. But you are the person that has to be willing to act. And if you're willing to act and work with us, we'll make sure that you're successful. PTSD claim has been held up for a year due to record center closure. I was in the initial phase since March 2020. Okay, I need more help with my claim. I need more help filing more claims. We would love to help you. I want help, but this is where I get so upset. It shouldn't be this hard. I shouldn't need to fight for what I deserve. I have to pay a crazy amount to get what I earned for the busted body. Well, Jimmy, I understand your frustration. You have to be willing to fight. Unfortunately, they're not going to just give it to you. Got to be willing to fight, and we can help make that fight a lot easier for you.
The VA hopes you give up. That's why it becomes difficult sometimes.
That's what they want you to do. And you only lose when you say that you're done. When you say that you're done, that's when you truly lose. So the pain that you are experiencing takes away from your life. That chronic pain affects you. It prevents you from sleeping. It prevents you from going out. It prevents you from being with family. It prevents you from being with friends. You may have lost friends because of it. You may have lost jobs from it. You may have lost family because of it. You may have lost a wife or a husband because of it. These issues could really, truly be affecting you. Talk to us, guys. What kind of pain are you dealing with, and how does it take away from your life? Richard says, both knees are shot, lots of pain. Can barely climb stairs, strength gone, a few other things getting worse. Richard Chase. Richard, I'm talking directly to you right now and everybody who's watching. You're talking about the physical component of the pain, all right? And I get that. But how is it affecting you as a person? How is it affecting your life outside of the pain? How do we move forward? I have knee pain appointment in a few weeks. I've also applied for TDIU, but I was told I need the doctor's signature to get 100%. Michael, great questions. You for sure need to make sure that you set up an appointment with one of us, a coach here at VA Claims Insider. So how do we claim SSD secondary to something else? How does it work? Well, it doesn't matter what the service-connected disability is. It doesn't matter what it is, but if you might have one service-connected disability, you might have 17 service-connected disabilities. Whether you have one or 17 or somewhere in the middle, you can apply for SSD. All right. I like to stay away from the term SSD. It's referred to as SSD a lot, somatic symptom disorder, because the VA will diagnose you how the VA wants to diagnose you. The doctors will diagnose you how they want to diagnose you. Bottom line. But what it is, you're experiencing lifestyle impact, you're experiencing chronic pain because of those service-connected disabilities. Those service-connected disabilities are taking away from you. Okay? So what you got to know is that mental health, there's only one rating for mental health. In other words, you cannot have, let's say that you have two service-connected disabilities. You can't have a mental health rating for how the knee takes away from your life, and then another one, how the neck takes away from your life. They bundle it all together. And mental health is typically rated at 0, 10, 30. Well, it is rated at 0, 10, 30, 50, 70, or 100. Our clients will often see 30, 50, 70, or 100, okay? And so if you're getting a rating, let's say that you get a 50%, it means that your symptoms are representative of the 50% level. If you get 70%, it means that your symptoms are a representation of the 70% level, and so on and so forth. So it's all about how bad it affects you, how bad it takes away from your life, and how it affects you mentally. Jess, I didn't know if you had anything to add to that.
No, but I'm reading some of the comments coming through the channel, and maybe just a hypothetical question that will address many of these comments. What if I have PTSD already and several other physical compensation ratings? Can I do SSD?
Absolutely, you can. It would be a conversation with your coach, because if your PTSD is at, like, let's say 10% or 30%, maybe even 50, but you're dealing with extreme depression and anxiety because of your service-connected disabilities. Talk to a coach, because it's all about, at that point it's an increase. It's just a mental health claim, and you're going for an increase. And our organization would be very, very happy to help you with that, for sure. So if you're already service-connected for mental health, but you feel like you don't have the rating that you deserve, you feel like under the law you deserve more, we can help you with an increase. All right. Sylvia says, my husband has chronic pain in his back that he sleeps on the floor. He can never get a good night's sleep. He is always so irritable, snaps at people, and that embarrasses me. I am working with the coach right now on his back, but probably need to do a secondary claim because of this. Sylvia, first of all, thank you for being so supportive of your husband. I'm sure that he is so grateful that you were there to help him and support him. That is a great wife right there. Okay. He is so lucky to have you. Definitely he's dealing with a lifestyle impact because of his pain. He's not a bad guy. We know he's not a bad guy. We're veterans. We get it. But other people see him snapping on them, and they're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be around him. Oh, I don't like that guy. But little do they know, he's suffering. He's dealing with pain. He's got a lifestyle impact. His mental health is on the downhill because of the extreme pain that he's dealing with. So yes, definitely focus on that. Because yes, his back is painful, and I can understand why you're trying to go for an increase on his back and everything like that. But how that back is taking away from his life is so much greater. And SSD, also known as somatic symptom disorder, that's the abbreviation, aka lifestyle impact, aka chronic pain, mental health, secondary to a physical service-connected condition. It's high value. It's rated as high as 100%. And for most of you, the nexus already exists within the service-connected disability itself. Now, you probably need a nexus statement. You want a doctor to rationalize that, We have an outstanding team of doctors that we partner with, and they'd be very, very happy to help you with that. But the first thing you need to do is talk to one of us. You need to talk to a coach. When I say one of us, I don't literally mean Jesse or myself. That would be cool if some of you like later, like, oh, hey, I saw you on Facebook Live, or hey, I saw you on Facebook Live, or maybe you request to work with one of us. Yeah, that'd be awesome. But everybody here at our organization, the people that are here, they're all trained, and they're excited, and they're willing, and they're ready to help you. So just when I say we, I mean our whole team.
You know, we work as a team. We all bounce off of each other, feed off each other, and communicate with each other. It's the great family work environment you could envision in your head if a work environment was perfect.
Debbie, hey, Coach, do you want to read Jesse, do you want to read Debbie's comment there? I think this is something that a lot of our veterans experience, but they're too shy to talk about, but this is reality. So Debbie, thank you for being vulnerable. I know it's not easy to talk about such things.
She said, my husband consumes enough alcohol every night so that he passes out to get enough sleep. I'm worried about his long-term health due to the pain and alcohol abuse. He consumes probably 3 large bottles of bourbon a week since pain meds are no longer available to him. That's Debbie. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Debbie, your husband is dealing with a lot. He's drinking to cope with his pain. He is dealing with alcoholism because of his pain. That is a huge mental health concern, right? You need to talk to somebody. You need to hook up with us and let us help you right away. Sylvia says my husband is 20% service connected already on his back. Sylvia, that's great. You've got a service connection, whether it's 20%, 10%, or even a 0% service connection. All you need is that service connection. And then secondary to that service connection, do lifestyle impact. Okay. There's a lot of different ways in which we can help your husband, Sylvia. But you need to reach out to us as soon as possible. Hey, thank you so much. So reach out to us as soon as possible. Girlfriend just brought me my energy drink. I want you guys to see that this is an energy drink. It is not a beer. All right. I don't want any rumors going on. Travis took a beer on live, Facebook Live. Yes. Horace, thank you for reaching out to him. This is me. I am broken from the people on here. I need you guys. Danny, we need you. We need you just as much as you need us. We're happy to help. Oh, Cassie's going to take great care of you. Cassie Allen. Oh, my gosh. Love Cassie Allen. She's going to take such good care of you. Don't worry. Contact the VACI or ask on the Facebook page for help. Gary. Oh, these are, yep. I know, Brian. I'm working on it. Hey, I'm down to just a few a week. It used to be a few a day. It was a few a day. Bangs. So I pivoted away from bangs because they are like the worst of the worst. They are absolutely the worst of the worst. They would make me shake, but I loved them. Keep asking the questions. If they're, again, we're not purposely trying to ignore questions when they come through. It's just that so many of them come through. You're still waiting for a current claim to settle. Okay. Well, whatever your coach is advising you is what you need to do. Red Bull, I don't like the aftertaste. What else we got, guys? Now it's time for questions. We're moving into that Q&A segment. We're about 15 minutes from the close of the hour.
We'll try to address them all, but they come in so quick.
I had back and neck pain in my records. I had surgery in August 2020 where they put a cage in my back. I'm currently 90%, but this pain is not part of that. I have a real problem driving, turning my neck to see incoming traffic. Brian, let's take a deeper dive into that. I get what you're saying. Like, you're dealing with, your neck issues, back issues. Heck, they all interrelate, right? But how is it affecting you mentally, sir? How is it affecting who you are as a person? How is that taking away from your life? Think about it from that perspective. Dave, I suppose you could file for any service-connected disability out there that you qualify for sure, absolutely. I believe there's over 800 of them. Brian says he hates being dependent. With PT, can I send a screenshot? Haven't heard from a BSO. Just if you send a screenshot, make sure you cover your personal. You block out your personal identification stuff. All right. I'm PNT, but keep getting denied SSD. Rick, that's kind of a different territory. We focus on VA claims disability, sir. That's what we focus in, and that's what we're good at. You don't go to a pizza place and order a hamburger, and you don't go to a hamburger joint and order pizza, right? So you would probably want to go see people that specialize in Social Security law. I have chronic pain in left shoulder and have 10% movement in it and claim still not done. Okay? You need to reach out to a coach. Let them help you. Thank you, Horace, for posting that. Go to www.vaclaimsinsider.com. Go to the website to get started. Yes, yes. How can I connect chronic pain with a 40% lumbar and 20% cervical? Namar, I hope I'm saying it right. Oh my gosh, Namar, how is it impacting your life? Secondary to that back injury, secondary to those back injuries and that neck injury, you're dealing with so much. You probably can't sleep, right, Namar? You can't sleep. If you do sleep, you probably sleep very little. You probably can't play with your grandkids very well. You probably can't work out the way you want to work out anyways. There's a lot of things that limits your life. And if you want to comment back on some of those things that are life limiting to you, okay, perfect. So it sounds like what I was mentioning is true to what you're dealing with. Well, sir, that is a lifestyle impact that you're dealing with. Your life is deeply impacted by what you're experiencing. Secondary to those disabilities that you just told me, you could do mental health secondary to that. And you could potentially get rated as high as 100% for mental health alone. But even if you got, let's say, 30, 50, or 70, it's still going to help you cover a lot of ground towards your overall goal. And most of you should know this. Most of our clients average a 70% mental health rating when they come through our program. SSD needs a mental health evaluation. Go to the VA and get started. Stephen Benoit is correct. He's absolutely correct on that. But one part I do want to correct is that you can get started with us. You don't even necessarily have to go to the VA to get started, okay? How can I connect with a coach? Gary, that comment by itself should be enough for it to happen. Somebody's going to reach out to you in the next day, probably 2 days. What will happen is after this live is over, somebody will come through every single comment and then make sure everybody who has requested help gets somebody to help them. Randy says he hasn't. Oh, go ahead. I've been talking a lot.
Ron says, common yard chores and all of my previous sport activities have been eliminated. I have no social or mental release.
Ron, that's so sad, man. That's so sad. And thank you for sharing that publicly. And I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that. You should be compensated for that. You should be. And for that to happen, you need to reach out to us. Is it ear itch? How do you say that? I had a shoulder surgery last November before I joined the Army. I had a surgery on my other shoulder with all the activity impact from being at Combat Arms MOS. Can I claim my current shoulder injury? And I got, yes, absolutely. But we're really here on the topic of the life of mental health secondary to those service-connected disabilities. Stephen's absolutely right. The VSO is not going to contact you. Okay, you got to understand. There is a thing in this world that's called you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. And VSOs, I'm sure that they mean very, very well, but they have huge caseloads. They practice the pump and dump strategy, okay? And they're not gonna follow up with you. And they're probably not gonna cover as much ground with you as you would if you worked with our amazing organization that has all of the information that you need to be successful. It's okay to break up with people. Break up with your VSO. If they're not working out for you, break up with them. If you have a VSO and you want to work with us at the same time, you can.
So Eric corrected you. It's Eric. Just very,
Oh,
very.
okay. Nice. My last name is actually of German descent. That's so cool. Horace is absolutely right. So some of the questions that are being asked are very like specific and require like one-on-one. But the overall theme that we're trying to portray here is the fact that if if your life is impacted, if you struggle doing basic chores, if you don't want to go out, if you don't want to be around people, maybe you've had divorces, maybe you haven't had a divorce, you just have a really good spouse, but there's tension in that relationship because of the pain that you're dealing with and how you treat them, not because you treat them that way on purpose, but because of all the pain you're in. You're not sleeping well, so you're snappy and you're irritable. You're going off on coworkers, you're going off on friends, you've lost friends, you've made dumb decisions, you've done dumb things. All right. Maybe some of you have racked up some DUIs. Maybe some of you have crashed a car into a ditch drunk and you didn't get a DUI, but you just crashed the car into a ditch and you recklessly endanger yourself because of your drinking, getting behind the wheel of a car. But the reason that you're drinking is because it might just be a way for you to deal with the pain. There could be some of you, don't have to admit this, I would never ever expect you to admit anything like this. I just want you to think about it. But there could be some of you that have even resorted to marijuana or other drugs to deal with your conditions. We got 2 divorces over here. 2 divorces. Randy says, I am so bad with mental health issues. I had an tendon repair trying to get back to work. I'm so sorry, man. Yeah, so are they service connected? So if they're service connected, if you have a service connected disability, you can certainly do lifestyle impact secondary to it. I'm sorry you can't bowl anymore, Dill. I'm sorry. I know that's something that you really enjoyed that you can no longer do, just like Coach Jesse over here can no longer go bow hunting. It's so sad to not be able to do things that you once took a lot of pleasure in doing, because those things are a big part of our life and who we are. And it's really sad. It's almost like part of you dies. When I talk to some of my veterans and they tell me that they're not able to do something they're really passionate about, they've got a lot of golfer veterans. And they talk about how they can't go out and do it anymore. And Jesse, I don't know how does it feel like part of you has died that you can't go bow hunting like you used to?
It does, and for me, it's really something that was shared from my grandfather and father down to me that I won't be able to share with my boys. I'll be able to share it with them, just not,
Different way.
different way.
Yeah. If you keep getting denied, then something is not working for you, and you need to reach out to our organization and let us help you. Okay. Yes, we are vets helping veterans here. Marcos, so there's a lot of things that go into consideration there. Okay, that's a big topic to kind of dive into, and we're going to have Facebook Lives where we talk more about that kind of stuff. But and the coach would be happy to talk to you about that as well. But if we get into that now, it'll just lead into like probably 100 questions, and we don't have that kind of time right now, so we're keeping it on the mental health. Sherika says, used to be happy and full of life. Life has beat the crap out of them at this point. And it's probably because Sherika is dealing with all of those service-connected disabilities that take away from her life. And that is why she should reach out to us and let us help her with a mental health claim secondary to those service-connected conditions. Dale says, I look at my 300 rings that makes me cry. Dale, I encourage you. This is what I encourage you to do just to help you, right? So Coach Jesse says that he's not able to bow hunt, but he's able to do other things. Maybe he's still able to kind of get out there a little bit, find a way to contribute. Maybe you can't bowl. Maybe you can no longer bowl, but maybe you can help. You can teach other bowlers. Maybe you can still be part of the process. Okay? Find a way. Find a way.
You got to find what your new release is going to be.
Exactly. sure Tom Brady's going to retire probably in a few years, and he's going to have to find a new release. Good stuff. I have to rotate my sitting and standing as my back. Ron, and I'm sure that you, I'm sure that bothers you. I'm sure that bothers you mentally. Let me know if that's the case or not, but I'm sure the fact that you would love to be doing walking activities, but you're not able to do so. Brian, so now there's different strategies that we utilize, but that's something where we would really want to kind of zoom in on your specific situation, and then we would talk about what an appropriate type of statement of support would look like. That's more of a conversation between you and whoever your coach is or would be. If you feel like this has been valuable and you feel like you have learned some things today, I want you to press #1. All right, #1. If you would like to connect with somebody from our organization, hit #2. Any last minute questions? We're coming up on the hour. I really hope that you guys learned. Oh, good. Danny learned some things. Lisa, Marcos, Ron, Brian, Joseph, Facebook. Jesse Martin says, oh, that's very personal, and I'd be happy to read that. It's a thing that a lot of veterans deal with. Has not been intimate with his wife for 12 years because of hasn't slept with his wife for 12 years because of the tossing and turning. And that would create a broken relationship. And that's got to be absolutely heartbreaking because it's of no fault of your own. So glad that you learned. I'm so glad that so many of you are requesting to be reached out to. And I promise that we're going to reach out as soon as possible. It might take a couple of days, so don't panic. But we're going to reach out to you and get you connected with somebody as soon as possible. Dick, thank you for sharing that. We are so fortunate and so blessed to be able to do the work that we do. I never in a million years, 2 years ago, I never would have thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be helping veterans every day. I was a teacher, and I never in a million years would have thought that I would be doing this. Here I am. And I love it. This is the best job I've ever had. And even though I'm not a teacher anymore, I feel like I'm even more of a teacher now. And I feel like the impact that I have is way more far reaching. I'm actually able to help change lives, like actual lives. Not just teach somebody some 3 + 3 = 6.
Well, caveat on that, Travis. I had a huge anxiety was transitioning from active duty to retirement, and coming into this family and being able to continue to serve our brothers and sisters in arms just gives me goosebumps every day.
And Jesse he's a very passionate veteran, and I'm so glad that he's part of our team. I have watched him since he first came on in early January, and I have just continued to watch him evolve, and he's going to do great things here.
Thank you, Travis. Thank you.
Of course. Hey, Lisa, thank you for that comment. All right. Well, it's always so sad to say goodbye, especially when we're having so much fun, but I want to respect your time. I know that most of y'all have other obligations, but man, this reminds me why I come out here and do these Facebook Lives. I hope to see you guys again soon on another live or in a class. Who knows? Maybe some of you might end up being my client. But great talking to you. I hope that you guys have a great day.